All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So this is a viewer request video. It's been a while since we've looked at TRKA. Obviously, they've had their reverse split on this day right here, the 1 for 25. But hey, I hope you see what I'm seeing. This is starting to look a lot better than it has really the last month, right? So a little bit of positivity happening here, but you know I always say it, I need more than one day. I do need some confirmation. So we'll talk about that, okay? The next one is BKKT. I remember this stock. It's actually been a long time since I've even thought of it, let alone looked at it. So I briefly looked at it when the viewer request came in, and I like BKKT. It looks very, very interesting to say the least, and I'm super glad I actually saw that before I hit record. And then look, I have basically been talking about Mullen every single day. I normally don't do that, but man, I appreciate all the love I'm getting on calling it right. I'll be so honest with you. You know, I'm not here to like brag or boast. I really, really don't do that. Like I let my account do that for me and my wife be happy, right? Like that's all I actually care about. But yeah, I appreciate the Mullen love. And again, let me just give you my thoughts and opinions on that quickly if I can, all right? So all that said, what are we going to do today? Same thing we always do, right? We're going to take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how this thing is setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we're done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to the channel, share this thing on the internet, comment good or bad. Hey, if you disagree, I'm not here to hate on you. I'd love to have a good discussion, right? And yeah, like this thing. Look, anything you can do really, really does help, but I swear, just being here and giving me your time is super appreciated, all right? So look, let's talk TRKA, all right? It's been a while since I've covered this thing, all right? Bad things happen under the 8 and the 20, and that's really where this thing has lived for a good while now, even actually backing it up a bit more. I mean, almost till here. This is where it loses the 8, this is where it loses the 20, and it's essentially never had it since, right? So we end up losing all of the moving averages right here. That's the bottom of the 5th one, and then it just drops super hard, let alone this 1 to 25 reverse split pain, all right? So a bunch of stuff that was bad, right? The good seems to be happening right now, okay? Again, bad things happen under these lines, but really good things can happen if they start to go upward and you're over it. And look, TRKA knows what to do with it, right? Right here, it gains them all. It knows how to bounce on the 8. It knows how to lose the 8 and use the 20. Lose it, use the 20. Bounce on the 8, right? Like it knows how to go from 3 to 20 when it's over these lines. And then it knows how to lose 8 all the way down to 1 something, $2 basically, very, very quickly when it's under it, right? So this is nothing more than knowing what to do with the lines, right? And I'm telling you, we're knocking on the door. We have broken the 20, not confirmed. That's good right there. But today we take both lines, all right? I need confirmation, and I think for there, I'm actually going to lower I'm going to lower this. I want you to break this. If TRKA can do this, I'm going to throw an alert for 272. If TRKA breaks 272, I think we're going to want to come here. I'm not going to lie to you. I think we'll actually probably break that, and we might want to come here. I don't think we'll break this. I think it's going to be very difficult to get over these 2 lines, but so much red, and this is a fairly insignificant horizontal. You know what I mean? Like there's not that many green things right here. It's mainly red things. This is a little bit more significant to me, and this is basically where this is. I really think that this thing's going to want to do a double up. All right, we need confirmation tomorrow. I am very happy to wait for 271, hoping to get up here. You know what I mean? So again, this won't be easy to break. What number is this? 361. You can see it in the box right there. 50 average in red, 361. That won't be easy, but get me from here to here. That's good money. Break this, that's fantastic money, all right? MACD is looking good. MACD was looking horrible for a while and all right for a bit. Now we're looking good, which is cool. I like that the RSI, they're both diverging, right? Diverging, just a fancy word for going away from each other. Green is going away from red. Green is going away from red. The only issue The only issue is volume, all right? Not that long ago, we were averaging 4.2 million shares. We are now struggling to break a million. Struggling. This is the only one that probably broke a million and a half right here. All the other ones are probably below it, you know what I mean? So this thing needs volume, and I think getting over the moving average, confirming it tomorrow, should bring good volume. But honestly, TRKA, truth be told, you can even consider putting an alert at 253. Just give me a penny higher, and that could be an interesting move. Which way are we going? Ooh, we're going up. I like that. Again, not a big like weight factor for me, but TRKA actually looking interesting right here. Not a great weekly, and again, you can see the importance of that 271. It's basically, is it actually exactly 273? You can see in the box over there, average 8273. So get over this line for me, and I think really good things can happen. So, and really just real quick, you can see it break this, and you would basically come up to that $5 that we were talking about on the daily as well, right? So I am actually liking TRKA. BKKT. Look at that right there, right? Again, what is moving average theory? Break the 8, go to the 20. Break the 20, go to the 50. Break the 50, go to the 100. Break the 100, and again, I always say the distance between the moving averages is important. You want to ride a good 14% up to the next one if you can, and that's literally what this does. That's such a healthy MACD that's actually in the positive. That's such a healthy RSI that's actually still at a really healthy 60. That's been a very nice volume, steadily increasing, basically on that 50 average, if not pretty much over it most of the time, and clearly way more buying than selling lately. That was a hard dump right there, but that does seem to be in the past at least, right? So I like a lot of this. Where are we after hours? Just curious. We came down a little bit. That's okay. Again, it doesn't hold that much weight on me. For me, the money line is clearly going to be the 200 moving average. I'm just kind of zooming out to see if there's much of a horizontal. There really isn't. There's basically this little peak right here, which essentially is the 200 moving average, right? I think this could be a good alert though. I do actually. What's the top? 158. What's the top of you? 172. That's actually a lot higher than I expected. That's actually still really high. Damn. No, that's too much to give up. That's way too much to give up. What is the actual 200 at? I'm going to set my alert at 166. I think 166 is actually a pretty decent alert here on BKKT. I like this because, again, let's just zoom. Oh man, I like this. Okay, the first important thing actually to say is this thing is generally under the moving averages, not above it. Okay, so if we can actually break this would be the technically second moment, because this one actually technically does close over it, but we have not been over all 5 moving averages and held it consistently on this stock. That's not necessarily a good thing, right? I want a stock that's historically done it. That said, yeah, if you can break this line, man, as I look at it, this is probably the strongest line I see. I don't think this is too much. I really don't. I think 50% of this, is that about half of that? That's about half of that. And look at that. That's basically the bottom of right there. I think these are the only lines I would draw basically till here. Yeah, then I would draw this one, and then I'd basically draw the top of this peak right there. That's look, again, do not have $7 dreams on this. No. But I think there's an interesting reason to believe this 280, basically $3 can hit, and then breaking that, maybe the 4. But it's all going to start and end with breaking the 200 moving average. And again, we've been here before and failed really hard. So it's no guarantee. And look, these were relatively good MACD and RSIs. I think this is a little bit more of a slow and steady stable, right? Obviously, that was a hard pump and dump to say the least, right? But that is not a healthy rise. This actually was, right? So this actually seems a little more sustainable and healthy, but hey, we failed it before and we've literally only been over it once, right? So don't underestimate the difficulty of this 200 line, but don't, you know, take away from the importance of it if it breaks. I like BKK. This is a good weekly. It's still early, right? This is the first time we're over this thing. So I need the next week to confirm. We've been over and failed. We've been over and failed. We've been over and failed, right? So we've been over the shit again, up, down, up. Like we've been over these two lines before, but we've never sustained it. That's what matters, right? So, BKKT is close, and I'm telling you, I remember it, and you can tell I like the stock for sure, but just a little bit more, I think. Mullen, let's talk Mullen. Okay, one more time, my people, you know this. I am not here to brag about being right or be boastful or any of that. I so appreciate the people doing that. I feel like it sounds better if other people say I'm doing well versus me saying I'm doing well. You know what I mean? So as long as my wife is happy and the account is good, like there's no reason for me to do anything else, right? So that said, look, I have, for the most part, been on the money for the last few candles, okay? We do get over the 20, but just can't quite break it. We open over it, but just can't quite break it. We make a good move, but again, we can't break it, right? Like, it's annoying, it's difficult, but again, it's what history has told us. We get to it, but fail. We get to it and actually close over it, but fail. We get to it, but fail. We actually open over it, but fail. Like, we've been here before. The one really good thing to say is this 8 moving average is moving up really well. It is getting really close to the 20, but again, we've been here before where we went really down, then we start to go really horizontal, get really close to the 20, get really close to the 20, and then fail it again, right? So, you know, it's just, it's close, but not there, okay? Let's talk about the buyback real quick. Listen, a stock buyback is for sure a bullish thing, okay? I do not want to take away from the goodness of that, the importance of that. Like, stock buybacks are really important. I don't know if a $25 million buyback is a lot. Okay, now for me, some dude that's talking on a microphone in front of the screen in his room, like, I don't got $25 million. That's a wild amount of money to a regular person like you and me. For a conglomerate, I'm not gonna, you know, it's probably a nicer way of saying MULN is a company, right? But for a company, $25 million might just be a drop in the bucket and not really that big a number. Right? Like, should they have gone bigger and make it look like a bigger buyback and like really shown the strength and their belief that it's this low? Because look, I think the important thing here is a buyback better make me believe we're not going to do a reverse split again. Okay, I think that's what, because let's all be honest, people, when we came up to $1 whatever, nobody believed we were going to be at 10 cents this early. I didn't. I very much said, yeah, I believe we're going to come back to the pre-split levels. Like, it doesn't surprise me that we're down here. I'm shocked that it happened in about 2 months, give or take, right? But nonetheless, this is where we were when the last reverse split happened. My buyback better make me believe that we're not going to reverse split again. I don't really know if a $25 million buyback is that magic number, all right? Just again, the goal is always to be, you know, like, don't take news for good blindly. That's how you lose fat money. You need to be as skeptical as I hope you are of me, right? Like, I'm just some dude on the internet, right? I hope you're really skeptical about every single piece of news and PR and stuff that you see, right? So, you know, ask more questions than just reading the headline. So that's my thought on the buybacks. Again, end of the day, nothing matters to me until we get over the 20 moving average right there at 20 cents. And I've said it and I'm gonna say it again, 26 cents is still the money line. Between 26 cents and the next spot up, this red should turn into green, right? Like, that's why I call this the money line. I am very happy skipping 19 cents to 26, and that's a good percentage, right? Like, that's a good amount of money right there. I don't need that money. I want 26 to 74. You know what I mean? So again, that's just my thought. That really hasn't changed. And honestly, I still am not a believer that we're going to break the 20 moving average. I really am not. What's this doing after hours? We're going down. Again, I don't care too much about after hours, but dude, for real, gals, for real, I am not a believer just yet that we're breaking the 200, the 20 moving average. I'm not. Again, just looking at history, right? Yeah, we've done it. I'm not saying we've never done it before. And yeah, we've done it and held for a minute. Yeah, we've done it. But just overall, in this same view, we're generally under that orange line. We're generally under that orange line. We're generally under the orange line. Generally under, right? Like for a long time under, right? There's only a few moments when we're actually above it, right? So I still need to believe that this 20 is no longer my enemy and is now my friend. I still actually don't believe the 8 is. I need to bounce on the 8 before I believe in the 8. You know what I mean? Like there's a part of me that's not sure if we're going to hold 14 cents. Very, very honestly. All right. So look, again, this weekly is a horrible, just red should want to turn to green. And again, actually, this might be hard to break, this 36-cent line right here. But again, let's break 26 before we even worry about this 36, 37. But again, mullen, just my thoughts. I also did talk about the buyback. Let me know if you disagree with anything. Again, I'm not here to hate on your thoughts or anything, right? But as always, I appreciate your time so much.